been a big matter. Why would you come here?
Okay, the question is, why did I come here? So much of what I've said in the past de-emphasizes race. Because we need to de-emphasize race. And we need to emphasize respect. We need to emphasize respect for everybody in our society. And we need to emphasize fairness and justice for all. And I can't think of a better place than Ferguson to do that.
What new things did you learn about Ferguson that you hadn't known before?
That is a very subtle question. What new things did I learn that I didn't know before? I think I knew all the things that I just talked about, but it has a much deeper impact when you actually talk to the people themselves. It's very much like a few weeks ago when I was in Arizona with my wife at the border. I'd heard all kinds of things about the border, but until I actually witnessed it myself, the impact didn't hit me in terms of the fact that we don't have any border security. It's zero. And that the federal government does nothing to help protect our people from influx. And I'd heard such things before, but I didn't really realize it. I guess it really hit home for me when I saw the expanses of fence. These are the kind of fences that, as a kid, would barely slow us down. But and in one area, they had cut a big hole in the fence, and they put some barbed wire across it. That's supposed to stop somebody. So the cameramen who were with us, they wanted to shoot us from the Mexican side, and they went through right there. And they were not athletic people, and they had all their equipment, and they were able to film us from the other side. I mean, it made a big impression on me. And by the same token, listening to the people here today, listening to the people who were there, who witnessed the riot, the people who tried to stop rioters from destroying people's livelihood, and listening to the people who were demonized because of the way they looked. It makes an impression. It helps you to understand more about the fabric of our nation and why we're going to have to heal it. Because our strength is in our unity, and we cannot allow ourselves to be destroyed by the purveyors of hatred.
To clarify something, so you just said that we need to de-emphasize race, and earlier you said that race is a significant part of the problem. So how do you reconcile those two ideas?
I think that a lot of people perceive everything through racial eyes. But my point is that we don't have to do that. What we have to do instead is to begin to see people as people. You know, as a neurosurgeon, I operated on people from every part of the world. Why was I able to do that successfully? And somebody from China versus somebody from Africa versus somebody from Somalia, somebody from South America, somebody from Kansas. Because their brains are all the same. That's what we need to emphasize, because that's what makes a person who they are.
Last question. Are there any other
Do
questions?
you think the city of Ferguson should be negotiating a consent decree with the Justice Department? Do you think that that's federal overreach and that the DOJ shouldn't be here doing this?
Well, you know, should the DOJ be here, or is that sort of overreached? And a consent decree, is that something that should be going on? That did come up in our conversation, and some of the citizens here felt that, on balance, it was probably more hurtful than helpful to have Justice Department involvement. That these things could be handled much better at the local level, and they have been handled at the local level, and people have gotten to know each other, and I could see the affection that they had for each other. And it's so important in our nation that we begin the concept of civil dialogue. Instead of getting into our respective corners and hurling hand grenades at each other, learning how to sit down and put our issues on the table, because we will generally find that we're not as far apart as we think we are. You know, America is a great nation, and it can be so much greater if we stop fighting each other and use our God-given intellect to make it a place where there truly is liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you.